All right, so I'm pretty much ready to wrap this up. I have all the different things that I've resampled over here. I've grouped all these tracks together. We have my heated stuff group. And I've organized these in different scenes so I can kind of just go down the list and hear different combinations of these clips together. Before I do that, though, I just want to kind of revisit where we started so we can really appreciate where we've gotten to. So let me mute this group track, and let's go ahead and play the drums. Everything over here is preheat, so let's hear how this stuff sounded before. Little bass sound. That mid-range sound I brought in. A nice mid-range pad. It's funny because I've gotten so used to how it sounds processed that this just sounds so flat to me. But like I said, it's just good to sort of revisit where we were so we can really appreciate where we're at now. So let me go ahead and unmute this group track. And I want to use Analog Heat to basically apply the final little touches to kind of glue everything together and use it as an effect on my master. So let me go ahead and bring Heat right here, and we're going to drag this onto the master track. There it is. Collapse the browser here. All right, so let's make sure that we initialize this. Now, if we're going to use this on the master, what I really want to do is go for the most transparent sound possible. I don't want to add any distortion on the master because that's going to affect everything that's playing. Really what I want to do is just kind of boost the overall level, sort of tie everything together, make everything feel as cohesive as possible, and make it loud without making it distorted. So the clean boost distortion circuit is a perfect candidate for that. And I tend to use this quite a bit on my master just to make sure everything sounds nice and hot. So with that said, the clean boost circuit is not currently doing anything. As we know, with the drive at 64 and dirt at 0, we're not really going to hear anything. But just to make sure that we're not being affected by that, I'm going to set this to inactive, and I'm going to start kind of playing some of these scenes so we get a feel for what's here. We want to make sure that we have a good amount of headroom before we start applying heat, and then we can use the clean boost circuit to basically get this as full and as fat as we want on the master. So looking over here at my heated stuff, our first scene, we just start with that 8.0 kit. Bring in some hi-hats there. Our little wah bass. Now again, as I'm doing this, I'm keeping an eye on the master volume over here. And really I'm looking at this oval to see how much headroom I have. I want to make sure that I have a good amount of headroom. 5 or 6 decibels would be nice. Okay, so we still got some headroom there. Okay, so not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the volume of the group track by a couple decibels. The group track itself is not overloading, so I think we're good. And bringing this down by 2 dB will give us an extra 2 decibels of headroom on the master. All right, so with that established, let me go back to this scene where most of the sounds are in. And I'm going to activate Analog Heat. Now, one thing you might notice is that as soon as I activated this, we saw or heard some of the highs go away, and that's because with the low-pass filter, we can see it's already rolling off some of the highs. I don't really want to do that, and ideally, I'm not going to use the filter for any actual real filtering. As we mentioned before, we can use the peak filter together with the equalizer as a 3-band EQ, and this would probably be a lot more useful on the master right now. And also, selecting the peak filter allows me to have this flat without bypassing the filter completely. So let's play it again. Okay, much better there. So I still got a good amount of headroom here. So ultimately, all I really want to do is, if I want to EQ this a little bit, we got a pretty good amount of bass happening here. I don't think I really need to add too much more bass. Maybe very subtly brighten up the highs here. I'm I'm going to increase the resonance on my peak filter. Kind of see if there's anything in here that I want to bring out. All right, and I'm going to start increasing the drive just a bit. And I'm going to launch a different scene. Let me go for one with the bass in it. Again, always mindful of our headroom over here. Try adding a little bit of dirt so we can bring out some of the harmonics. Now I notice the snares sound a bit brighter, have a bit more pop to them when the dirt is higher. Let's try another scene here. A little bit of bass, just a little bit. All right, now again, a quick A/B comparison. It's nice. And we still have a few decibels of headroom here. I'm gonna go ahead and increase the preset volume just a bit. All right, so I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Nice.